Adidas out with earnings today, saw a record year for 2018, but the sales outlook weighing on the stock. I had a chance to catch up this morning with CEO Kasper Rorsted, asked about growth in the U.S. business and that surprise warning that came out today about a supply chain bottleneck weighing on the outlook.
We've doubled the business in the U.S. in the last 3 years, and the more we move mid-price, of course, the volume has gone up, and we've not been able to build substantial or enough capacity in Asia to supply that market demand. So that is, on one side, a fortunate situation because of demand profile, but of course for us, it's quite irritating that we're not able to fulfill consumer demand because of our lack of capability to find the appropriate capacity in Asia.
What are you seeing in terms of the competitive landscape here in North America? Because there is concern among the analysts that Nike is resurgent and is back to taking share with some of its newer innovations.
The U.S. market, is very, very resilient. It's a very strong sporting goods market. Moving more and more towards online. I can't comment on our competitors, but we expect to continue to grow share in the U.S. also in the years to come.
What do you see in terms of U.S. consumer spending? We've seen some mixed signals lately on that front.
On the U.S. consumer, we have not seen a great change in the consumer pattern of the U.S. Consumer. What we are seeing is an increased move towards online, and that's why our own digital initiative is so important. But the spending pattern and desire to buy sporting goods products or leisure-related products in the U.S. remain very, very strong.
And you've been critical about Brexit from the early days. At this point, it still looks like a complete disaster, another failed vote. What's your base case scenario in terms of how you're planning to do business and control the supply chain without too much disruption?
We actually built warehouse and distribution capacity in the UK to counter any issues that would arise from a potential Brexit. So we've changed the way we distribute products in the UK and in Europe to cater for the Brexit. So that's already done. But of course, it's not an ideal situation. It's not going to be an ideal situation for us or anybody else.
So talk to me a little bit about the democratization of Yeezy. We've talked about Yeezy for a long time, but you guys seem like you're finally boosting volumes, expanding the product. What do you have planned for 2019?
So if you look upon, we have a great relationship with Kanye over many, many years, and it started out by being very much focused on creating few products on few releases with a lot of hype. This year we'll have more than 20 different releases, and some of the releases will be very scarce, very slow in volume, and some will have a very different volume profile.
So how do you do that? I mean, isn't the scarcity what makes it so cool and so hot? The fact that that prices have already started falling on the secondary market, doesn't it lose some of its cachet?
I think that the scarcity is always related to a given product. And over time, if you have a product in the market for a very long time, like the 350, of course, that scarcity will be, by default, be less so. And that is what we're really rolling out in volume. But of course, we and Kanye are bringing new shoes to the market where the scarcity will be very high. And of course, the demand on that product will be extremely high because of, quote unquote, the very low volume.
What were you thinking when you saw or heard about the ripped Zion Williamson Nike shoe?
First, I was actually concerned about the athlete because I think all sporting goods companies is the athlete heard about it. And secondly, it showed the enormous pressure a top athlete are putting into a product. I had no particular joy or non-joy about that. I looked upon it more in the eyes of, are we actually doing the right thing? Are we as Adidas building the right product? That was my reflection on it.
But do you think it boosts your chances of signing a deal with him? I mean, this is going to be so major. Some people think on the level of LeBron James.
I think that we'll continue to sign great athletes, and I can't speak about one or the other athletes, but we'll continue to sign great athletes. And I think if you look upon, we have James Harden, MVP in the NBA, played an outstanding season. I don't think anybody in the U.S. is doubting that Adidas can build great basketball products.
And on that front, the basketball front, there was other news in the past month, and that is one of the former executives of Adidas was sentenced to 9 months in jail because of the bribery scandal. Do you think it changes this whole process? I mean, what kind of warning shot was that to you and your industry?
It's clear that we were not very happy about what was going on, and that's why we also cooperate very openly and from day one or minute one with the authorities. And we need to make certain that the industry is not getting itself into that situation. That's why we have an intense dialogue with the NCAA to ensure that won't happen in the future.